Yes, people. Yes, people. And welcome to an impromptu live stream. I was about to make this video, but with the amount of news that has been coming out today, I don't know if a video would be enough for me to really, um, explain everything that I want to explain in regards to today's news. And there's a lot of stuff that's come out that I just think is just kind of crazy, a bit stupid to be honest as well. But obviously, listen. While I go through this, I want to hear your thoughts because I'm pretty sure you guys have read the news. I've read the news on Twitter. It's ridiculous. Oliver, if you want to hop on, bro, you're free to. The links in Casual FC if you want to come on. But listen, honestly, man, it's the news today. Today, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. But with me today, initially, is my good friend Will. Hope you're doing well, bro. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. The news is a bit shit, kind of.
I,
But
I don't know, bro. Like this news, bro, it just confuses me more and more. But like, yeah, man, I'm actually meant to be on like what's it called? My usual show that I do on Player's Choice, but I'm gonna do this little 45-minute stream before I head on to that first. But obviously, the big news that came out today was that from initially was from Matt Law, no, so Matt Hughes, I should say, from the Daily Mail, and that was that Chelsea are prepared to consider offers for Conor Gallagher when the transfer window opens next month. And he basically goes on today, him and Sam Mockbell, essentially together. Chelsea figures are understood to be arguing that it makes financial sense to sell Conor Gallagher due to the club's struggles complying with Chelsea with Premier League spending rules and deficiencies elsewhere in the squad. So essentially, they're not even selling Gallagher, yeah, for his skill set. They just want to sell him because basically they need to comply with a fee.
yep, this is what happens like when you spend such an amount of money and you limit your revenue streams by underperforming. So you know,
Oh my god, bro. Do you know where it is? Yeah. Just before, let me actually go before I go quickly. Where is he? Oliver, I DM'd it to you on Twitter, bro. But yeah, so essentially, just going back to the point, bro, is that for me, what this just shows to me, yeah, that Europe is clearly what the Europe stuff is true. That they actually need Europe,
yep,
basically. It's true. And like, if that is the case, yeah, we're gonna go on to like the stuff that we've been hearing from Pochettino's side, then why is he still here then? For me, that just makes it even more like even it makes the situation worse because there's some other stuff that's obviously come up as well in regards to the news in regards to the FFP stuff and everything. But if the FFP stuff is really in as bad as straight, because it's not just this that said it, it's been other reports that have also said that the FFP situation is a bit close for comfort. So it just makes me wonder, bro. But big up Oliver, bro. Nice to see you here as always, bro. Um, what are your thoughts, bro, on this FFP stuff? Because I'm kind of surprised by it. I'll be real, but I don't know if you can hear us. Oh, you can hear us now.
Yeah, I can hear you. So what? That we're close to violating FFP.
Yeah, I'm because like, what are your thoughts on that? Because like clearly, because the way people have been. Oh, just need to put me because I can hear your echoing slightly before I let you go back and speaking. But essentially, it seems that there's an FFP situation right now that that's basically blocking them from buying more players. And then we're obviously going to talk about there's some other stuff going on as well. So go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm not surprised. We've lost Champions League revenue for this season, and we had to sell a bunch of players to get clear of the threshold last in the summer. So
Yeah.
I'm really not surprised. Like these kind of things just add up over time, and this is why getting some form of European football is so important this season. Even if it's not the Champions League, we need something because we are, the revenue just isn't there to sustain the club at the moment.
Exactly, man. Big up to my boy, Mr. Bally Season, aka my boy Jared, bro. What you saying, man? How you doing, bro? First and foremost.
Bro, I have to wear. I can't roam the streets no more. I can't roam the streets with my actual identity, bro.
Fair enough, bro. What are you
Look at
thinking?
this.
Bro, what's your thoughts on FFP, big man? What are your thoughts on the FFP situation, man? We might need to put the belly on for the FFP situation,
Bro,
what are your
it's getting spooky out in these streets. What do you mean?
It's
It's getting
crazy,
spooky
man.
in the transfer market. It's getting spooky with our form. Everything's spooky, man. All I need is like a black suit now and then get the pen and do the Men in Black thing. Just splash in, just make everybody
Mm,
forget. Just liquidate
mm.
the club and just let everybody forget that Chelsea ever existed. Because what's going on right now, it's not looking good, yeah.
I hear you, bro.
Nah, because how are we breaking FFP already? Like I know
It
we
makes
spent a
sense, but the
billion,
thing is,
still.
Jared, bro. But the thing is, well, Kufana Kimo. But like, you know what it is, bro? Yeah, and I've said this yet. I actually, I've said this on casually before that the FFP stuff here is definitely a key part for us here for us, because I was like, we're spending this much money. They clearly need Europe for a reason, and for me, I always thought the reason they need Europe here is because they need to comply in FFP with some way, shape, or form. Because even for me personally, yeah, I was always like, yeah, we're spending the P's, yeah, we're getting everything like that, but there has to be like a drawback of this eventually, innit? There has to be some sort of drawback, innit? They can do all the loopholes they can, all the loopholes like the 8-year amortization stuff, but eventually FFP will still catch up to you in some way, shape, or form. The amount of players you're buying, not just for the first team, but also like the side players are buying for like the sporting stuff as well on the side. So those are gonna come back to haunt you. So
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know about you guys, but yeah, but like I think part of the reason also they're trying to sell Gallagher now is because remember Gallagher's, I think after January he's only gonna have 1 year left on his deal. So they're trying to get as much money as they can for this guy.
Yeah,
They're
he's
not
a 2025 expiry.
Yeah, and like apparently he doesn't want to sign an 8-year deal either. So
And also, it's also down to fitting him within a wage structure that they believe he's worth as well. So if he thinks
exactly.
he's worth more than what the club think, that's going to end up in a sale, I think.
But
Yeah.
he's also just like pure profit, like genuinely pure profit. So it just looks good on the
Books.
FFP regulations.
Yeah, because like obviously we gotta get to this. When we get to the striker portion, we get to it. But like, seems like we've only got like we're capping the wage budget at 150k. I'm saying a week, so yeah.
We're only capping it.
Well, good luck getting your proven option in that case. You know?
Hey, boy, this is the topic. Me and Neil are gonna get a bit feisty on this one for sure.
No, we're
Which
not
is
going to get feisty in it because I'm not like, I just think he's decent. For what
No.
I said.
Wait, oh, then we agree then. Yeah, so Chelsea, so basically, obviously, this is some striking news, which is that Chelsea have also been scouting Sporting Lisbon striker Victor Gyokeres. And remember, there's been reports previously for guys who are also watching, and to myself, yeah, that essentially that Chelsea might not be able to get the number one striker, so they'll be looking at alternatives, such as obviously Victor Boniface from Leverkusen, Jimenez from Feyenoord, Feyenoord, sorry, not Feyenoord. I always say Feyenoord. Feyenoord.
We're not going to Jimenez.
The guy from Stuttgart, aka
Girassi?
Guirassi, because he has a 17.5 million release clause, and obviously now Gyokeres has now come up as well. Now the thing for me with Gyokeres here is that he's almost, in my opinion, in a similar situation to Jackson, in the sense that Gyokeres is proven he's played well for Sporting Lisbon. I think he was even played well when he was at Coventry, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Yeah.
He was Coventry player the season last season.
So for me, he's definitely a good top but upcoming player, and that's the thing right now. If you are going to be making the argument that Chelsea need proven guys, then listen, big up Gyokeres. He's a talented player. I don't doubt that at all. But
do you want me to tell you though the thing that I have a problem with as well? It's the fact that Sporting Lisbon are a very well set up team. They've had Amorim for a few years now. They're starting to get even better than they were when they won the league. You've got Marcus Edwards who can create and dribble and open up space. You've got
100%
Goncalves who's really good as well. It'd be kind of like taking him out of like his comfort zone and straight in the deep end. So
exactly,
his release clause is 100 million euros, right? As well. So, am I wrong in saying that? I think
I actually didn't double check. Well, his release clause, but that's actually a good question. I'll check that while
I don't know. What people need to understand about Gyokeres going to Sporting, it's like last season, Sporting, he's like the finishing piece to what Sporting have been building the whole time, in the sense that what they were doing last season wasn't enough. Like, I don't even remember who their striker was last season, but they were relying so much on Nuno Santos and their wingback system to get goals and stuff, just like how they did it against Arsenal in the Europa League. I think Gyokeres is now that final piece that they've needed the whole time in terms of a striker that can create for himself as well as score when needed to. And he's kind of like a more polished version of Jackson, or what he could become, in the sense that he's very good at dribbling. He can play out wide. He can create chances. Now, yes, he's not like always the most clinical striker, in the sense that you'll rely on him for goals, or he's like your first option for a goal, even though he's become that now. Like he's developed into that now. But before, when he was at Coventry, I mean, we can just say it's like just a championship, but still, he was banging in goals anyways.
No,
But
no,
he's
no. But
also been established before that.
no. But I think Jared, the thing for me is that I don't disagree with that. But the problem is, I don't disagree whether or not he's established. But the problem for me, he's not the finished article currently. That's the difference. Right now, we need.
No, he's not. He's not the
Yeah,
finished article in a sense of where Chelsea want to be at in terms of what they need
exactly.
in a striker. But
Yes.
he's a finished article kind of player for a team like Sporting and where they are. And
But that's the point. That's the point, bro. That's
yeah,
essentially for me. He's very similar to like again a Boniface, a Jimenez, where they technically are a finished article for the team that they are currently playing at. You know what I mean? They fit their system. They work. It works for them all together essentially, and that works. The problem for me when it comes to Gyokeres, is that he's a great player. I don't disagree with that. But he essentially for me is similar to Jackson in the sense of he's a guy that we're going to need time for him. We're going to have to make sure if we are going to play with him, how is he going to interact with our system? Is he going to be able to do the stuff that, we need him to do for this current manager? You know what I mean? Whose tactics, I still do not know to this day. But, we move on that one still. But do you get what I'm trying to say to you? What are your thoughts, Oliver? Because obviously you haven't spoken on this.
I don't know who he is. I can't lie. I'm just this is just me. This is just me living in my own bubble. I don't know a lot about like football generally.
Yeah,
but I'm a Chelsea guy, so I can't comment on this. I'm afraid.
Big up Strasbourg.
Take our word for it. Gyokeres is a good guy. He's a good baller.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. I trust you guys.
Yeah. He's again. I think to summarize, he's a good player, but he's not. I don't know if he's the player that we need right now at Chelsea. That's just what it just comes down to for me. At the end of the day, that's all. Yeah, but I think I hear what you're saying, Strasbourg. But I think the problem right now for Chelsea is that yes, he's a true number 9. Yes, he's played in England before, but the problem is we need what I would say the finished article right now. Respectfully, that's the thing. He's still not the. That's what it comes down to for me personally. I don't know about you, Wolves.
Well, like if they're stubborn with the
well, and also, bro, 100 million release clause for someone that isn't still the finished article, bro. After what we've done already for 150 million for 150 million for Caicedo, 160 million for Enzo. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be honest, Ben. If you're going to Sporting, I'd probably pick I know they're not centre forwards, but I'd look at potentially Gyokeres, to be honest.
Exactly, bro. For me, this striker nonsense. We got to get to what Pochettino apparently is looking for.
I can't lie, but isn't Gyokeres like a 10/ like winger?
Yeah. But that's the thing, though. But that's the thing, yeah. Because me, I don't know if you know Jared, but me, Will, and Oliver, we've made the point that more over than a striker, we need another creative guy in the team. Someone that's going to help to provide consistent creativity alongside that Palmer, alongside maybe.
I think then in that case, I think that's what Poch has been banking on this whole time with this Nkunku bullshit.
But I don't think the thing is, go ahead, bro. Sorry.
And I know what you mean, but I mean, I think that's what he's banking on with the Nkunku thing. But I think we just need. I think Jackson is the striker that we should carry on with, but he shouldn't be our primary goal scoring option. I think we need a 10 or like a player to play behind him.
Yep.
Who has the finishing that Jackson doesn't have. Jackson has everything else that you would want in a striker except for the finishing and probably the in the box movement. That's literally what Jackson is right now. He's literally good for every other thing except for like the final kick of the ball in a play. In that sense, like Jackson's creating all the chances in the sense that he's the one player that we can rely on to carry the ball from the halfway line, and we can confidently say that we'll get a chance. We'll get a cross into the box. We'll probably get a header. We'll probably get a shot on goal or a shot off target. We'll probably get a shot in general. When Brojo was playing yesterday, or whenever the fuck that game was, I my head's hot. I still can't remember. It was probably yesterday. Damn. I had a midterm I had a final a couple hours ago, so I'm still cooked. But when Broja started, we couldn't create jack shit. Genuinely couldn't create jack shit. And when you look at the metrics that from the last game, it said that we created 0 big chances out of every chance that we created the entire game. We created 0 big chances for a full 90 minutes, and Jackson came on in like the last 20. So what does that say about Broja? And I know Broja's like raw and he's coming off of a big injury, like a very.
But do you know what it is though, Jared? If you watch the game, bro, he was doing similar things to Jackson. He was
just running in
the ball,
running in the channels, and there's no one filling up the center.
No one's filling up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's down to Poch's coaching now, where he's having Enzo play in like the left half space, trying to overlap fucking Cucurella.
Oh my god!
And then Gallagher's in the back in the 6, trying to create from deep like he's fucking Prime Busquets. Like, what are we doing here?
Listen, you know what? Speaking of Mauricio Pochettino, let's go on to him. So, according to Dakim Steinberg, obviously he's of the Guardian, if I'm not mistaken, he says that several sources have expressed satisfaction with Mauricio Pochettino's early impact and believe he commands the respect of the dressing room.
I agree with like that. As in, I think the players like him. I don't think the players are anywhere near toned on him.
I don't think they don't like him.
I don't think any of us agree. I think none of us here. I don't think that the players have turned on him. But I just think the thing for me is just that he's tactically inept.
That's what I'm saying. He's not a bad character for the dressing room. He's like a good assist. Like, if you were to like reassess Poch in terms of being a coach now, you'd probably just be like, yeah, he should be a backroom staff kind of coach.
Yeah,
he should be like a backroom kind of staff coach, and not being like the main staff coach, because his tactics just don't make sense. You're playing Gallagher in the 6 and Enzo in the 10, picking up pockets, overlapping. You're playing Chilwell at left wing. You're playing Colwell at left back.
Oh, we gotta get to that. We found the reason why apparently he's been doing it. Jared, I don't know if you read the news, but we gotta get to that, bro. Apparently, there's a reason why he's been doing that, guys. By the way, when we get to that, I'm gonna lose my head.
Oh,
there's a reason.
I must.
We gotta get that. So, continuing on to this, he says Chelsea may decide to hold back on a striker if Nguku Christ makes an immediate impact once he returns from a long-term knee injury. So, listen, we're asking Nguku Christ to do so much, bro. We're asking him to create. We're asking him to become the number 1 striker for us. Mate, I don't know, man. We might need to start asking him to defend. You know what I mean? We need to defend now, Nguku.
Hey, we need help on set pieces, don't we, right?
Hey, we're going to have to run it back. We're going to have to run it
back. No, you know what's funny? This guy has been banging, this Poch guy has been banging on about the fucking height difference, and then he was begging for Lautaro Martinez.
Big up Alex, by the way.
Dybala in the summer. Like, Dybala and Lautaro Martinez are literally as short as Enzo.
They're the same height as me, mate. 5'9", I think.
Exactly. Like, they're shorter than David Silva. Like, not David Silva, fucking Thiago Silva.
It's crazy.
Thiago Silva's 5'10".
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
We rank quite high for like success in aerial duels as well.
No, we're number 1.
Yeah,
we're literally number 1.
Yeah.
We're number 1.
Let me bring up that tweet. I think it was Nizar that reported that apparently one of the reasons he's been playing Levi Cole was because he's been worried about the height. So, and because Levi Cole is, I think, 6'2", that was one of the reasons why he's apparently been playing him. But
if he's so worried about the height, then why is he playing Thiago Silva still? Thiago Silva.
By the way, this is the same manager that wanted. This is the same manager that wanted 5'10" Manuel Ugarte in the summer.
Yo, Klopp just dunked on Caicedo, Klopp just dunked on Caicedo. That's crazy, man. That is crazy.
Nobody give a fuck about Klopp, bro.
That's nasty, man. But listen, he said apparently, obviously, we found out in the summer that defensive midfielders don't want to join Liverpool, and then you see what happens. Ha ha ha. That is crazy, man. But hey, one
guy's acting like his midfield hasn't been bypassed. And
bro, when Aston Villa go top, it's gonna hit different.
But hey, big up Alex, bro. What are you saying, man? How are you doing, bro? I don't know if you can hear us.
I don't know how I wandered myself in here, but the height is such a big myth. And first of all, we're considering the goals from the set pieces all the time, but it's not the first stage of the clearance. It's the second stage. It's the rebounds after we hit the headers out. We clear them out, but we not clear them far enough, and that's how we consider the second goal. How we consider the goals based on the second stages. So I don't think the height has anything to do with it. I just think it's a defensive structure. And if you look at the game, especially yesterday, just go to any set pieces you will see the replays of the set piece. We cleared the ball out, and there is a big gap between our players and the players outside the box.
Exactly.
So that's the biggest Chelsea's problem. You can Google it, you can look at it, and it's like all the time. It's wide open. I know this long time ago, so I don't blame the actual defensive headers or heights. I blame the structure of the defensive line. That's
No,
all it is.
you especially can't last game because we had Badiashile and Disasi and Colwood all in the box.
Yeah.
That's what
So
I'm
this
saying.
is
And
yeah.
this guy's
So
still
this is
begging
the
for
quote.
height.
Yeah, so this is the quote that I was talking about. So this is the the Matt Hughes article with Sam Mukbar in regards to the Gallagher stuff. So he says high issues are part of the reason why Mauricio Pochettino has persisted in playing 6'2" centre half Levi Colwill at left back this season. It's also why Leslie Ugochukwu has played more than expected. So basically,
He's barely played. What?
So
I don't understand this. This is a lie. I don't know where this where's this thing coming from?
it's
Levi Colwill is getting beat on the ground, not in the air. That's how we consider the goal from the left side.
No. Alex, the article's talking about the reason why Poch has been playing these guys is because of the height.
I know.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I'm questioning Pochettino.
Mm-hmm.
How is he thinks the height is involved when we get beat? If we get beat on the left side, and Levi Colwill is the wrong position on as a defensive structure. You just look in the first goal yesterday. Instead of pressing at the ball, he covered his balls with his hands. That's literally what happened. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, I remember.
The guys is about to take a shot, and Levi Colwill standing there in front of him, decided not to go block the shot. He decided to stand there and put his hands in front of his balls. I'm serious. It's not a bad.
I know.
I remember Alex. Yeah,
we remember Alex. We just laughing.
So I don't know. Like, is the height of his penis is the issue? I don't know.
Yo, chill out, big man. Pause, big man. What is going on,
right? I'm not involved.
I don't know what kind of height is he pretending Levi Colwill has better.
Oh my god, man. That was nuts, man. That was nuts. You know what? Let's move on from that. Yeah. There's so this is like continue. This is from Fabrizio actually. He said the feeling of all people at Chelsea is the current situation is not acceptable. They understand they can't continue like this. Internally, discussions will take place on solutions, but trust in Mauricio Pochettino remains. But if they know they can't go on like this, but like, you know, I need to. I'll bring out the Premier League table. But because like when I hear stuff like this, I'm like, if you know you can't continue on like this, and you know the current run we have currently, I would say an easy run. It would if you clearly don't believe in Poch, and like if you clearly are due to not just FFP reason, but the need for Europe is true, then this is probably the right time to be bringing in someone in, because then you're giving them at least the easy route. Then
it depends because imagine they had a meeting saying, "Look, results are kind of shit, but we have to also look at the squad and how depleted it is because of injuries and blah blah blah." But also, what they're looking at is the fact that they've brought in so many coaches since they've taken over. How much more hire and fire in such a short space of time can this team take before we finally see some consistency? And obviously, Poch, they put him on a shorter contract than Poto, and I don't know how much they're paying him or how much it would cost to sack him, but whatever. I think their idea is that they're hoping that Poch delivers a plan to them, and that he delivers on it in like a span of time, and that plan shows progress rather than just sacking him now and starting over from scratch again in like for like the sixth time in like 18 months, because on average now we've sacked a manager every let's say like 4 or 5 months almost, or 3 to 4 months since they've taken over. Like on average we've had about 5 we've had a different manager.
Can I ask you a question?
Different manager for different times. Yeah.
Okay, so based on what you just said, is at what stage of the regroup of the Chelsea you think we are? Like, like if you like Pochettino got the Chelsea team, what stage of like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like at what stage we are by his standards we building a team? Are we in the beginning of the stage for Pochettino to finally get it working, in the middle of the stage for Pochettino finally get working, or we are top of the league right now and we're winning this season? Which position
I
are
think
we?
realistically we should be.
No. I'm not asking where we should be. I'm asking where we at. Based on your assessment of the Pochettino, what stage of Pochettino rebuild we think you are? We are.
It's supposed to be middle. I'd say middle right now. We're supposed to be in the middle of it, and we're supposed to be in a position that Europe is a possible place. And we're not at that position, but that's where we are. We're in the middle of it. He's shown us the signs in preseason, and then all of a sudden, one injury just blows everything out of proportion, and he pulls up the entire team structure. Like he's shown us that he can do something good with the squad, but one injury shouldn't make him pull up the entire plan that he had.
I'm saying in
all
your
the way to
assessment,
now.
is he okay? In your assessment, Pochettino is doing a great job.
Oh no, he's not doing a good job. It's a poor
Like
job, very
that's what
bad.
I'm
But
saying. So
we're in the
when you
middle of
when
him doing a
yeah
very poor job.
when you said that you don't want like the start all over again from the start with the new manager. I just wanted to know how far the new manager will come in to rebuild the team from what Pochettino is right now. How much you think that distance is? Like, for example, if the new manager will come in right now, do you think he can reach the level of Pochettino that is right now? How long would it take him to reach the Pochettino's level, the new manager? How we
It
playing?
wouldn't take long. It wouldn't take
Exactly.
long.
So my point is like
No,
the
that's what
prior
I'm saying.
Pochettino.
No, what I'm saying is we're in the middle of what Pochettino is supposedly building. And even though it's not, it's the realism of the fact of a time period, right? I'm not talking about how well the team is playing. I'm talking about a time span. We're in the thick of it, halfway in of what Pochettino's supposed to be doing and what he said he's supposed to be delivering on. We're at the time period where his words are supposed to be matching with how we are and what he said based on when we hired him and what we're supposed to be at right now are not matching. But I'm sort of looking at it from a time period, not an objective period, because objectively we're nowhere near what he said that we were supposed to be at, or where.
So would
where
you
he
say
said
we're
that
in a
we were
still
supposed to be.
beginning of that thing? Would you say we're any better from the beginning of the season to now?
No.
I think at the start of the season, I can say probably like the first 3 games, maybe we were okay, but then after
We
that,
actually
it's just
lost
been
first. I think we
it,
lost like first of 2 games. Like
Yeah, we lost. We drew one, lost one, and then 1-1 at the end.
yeah, we were okay. I think I would have taken those at the start with what we were doing. I was like, okay, fine, no panic stations yet. But as we've progressed now, we're in December. It's been almost 7 months since he's been here. That's a substantial amount of time for you to implement what you need to implement. We've seen coaches do a lot more in a lot less time.
well, that's
I'm
what I was
saying I'm
trying to
talking
say.
from a
But I
yeah,
think
yeah.
Jared, the point that I think Alex is making, and I think I would
No. I
all
know
of us
what he
here would
means.
all
No,
no, but
I
all
know
of us,
what he means.
no, but
I know what
I'm
he means.
also adding my own perspective into this here, which is that if we set Pochettino now and you bring in someone that is actually competent, we should be able to have a lot more of a faster turnaround to whatever the squad's full potential may be. What I'm
It
saying to which,
depends.
but
I
I
think it
don't really
depends
think so.
to a
I
degree.
don't really.
No, not to like a high degree. I'm just it's like a very small degree in terms of when I say depends.
And I think for me, yeah, I don't think it should matter, yeah, if you sack or hire managers that fast. And the reason why I would say that, yeah, is that if you can clearly see on the pitch the manager's not doing a job. As an employer, someone that's employing, if your guys not doing a job, you need to move on from and bring in someone that's going to be able to do the job for you.
The problem will be is if you leave it too late.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think
Exactly.
that is a good point.
I do think if we leave it too late, then
And
yeah,
because I want to bring up this quickly. Yeah, I'm just gonna
What
bring
if
up
we're gonna leave him until January and he's gonna implement the January
I don't
transfer
want
window,
him. I don't
and it
think
still
he can
does
be
not
here
work?
by January.
For example, if he
This
stays for
is-
January,
Alex, this is the funny thing about it, because the quotes there just said, "Oh, the owners understand it's not acceptable." Well, why are you accepting it and awarding him with transfers?
With the
Exactly.
transfers,
Well, that I
exactly.
think
If you
was-
get the transfer window and it still not works, the next manager is going to have to be the one that actually fixing those transfer if they not working.
But the thing is, I think it's a lot easier to fix than I think some people
Do
are
you
making it out.
do you
to be.
think
We bought
Pochettino
players.
is happy with Mudryk being bought before he came to Chelsea?
I don't know. I don't give a
He
fuck
should
if
have.
he
He
cares.
should have been.
I-
He
He
should
took
have
the
been.
job knowing it, though.
Yes.
He came into
You
the,
see
that's
what
what
I'm
he said.
saying?
His words.
Jared,
His words.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
no.
His
But
words don't match
Jared,
what he said.
I want to hit
or
this
what
point
he's
out to
doing.
you. Yeah, this guy, Pochettino, had 2-month interview. He was speaking of them regularly. When they came to him, they explained whatever they were going to do to him. He probably knew the transfers that were coming in as well. So, like, you know, I feel like it's a bit wrong of him to be complaining now about transfers before he signed the dotted
Ahead of
line.
it,
he knew
yes.
about- yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
that's what I said initially. I said
Oh.
initially that based on what he said, his
My
words.
man, we're not attacking you,
he's
man.
not the-
We actually agree with you.
No,
We're
I
not
know.
attacking you.
No, I know. I'm just trying to make it clearer for you
Mhm.
guys in
Fair
what I'm
enough.
saying. I'm just saying what I was saying before is that you were asking about where we are with what Poch is, and I'm just saying purely from a time basis, not like objective basis, because obviously the objective is not there. I'm just saying purely from a time basis that we're not where we're supposed to be, and that's why I think bringing in a new manager to a degree can be good, but could also be harmful in the sense that if we don't bring in the right one, then will he be able to get the right performances out of players? Or if we bring in the if and it's just like a very hit or miss thing in the sense of will they bang or will they come in and just be the same where they're like trying to play the long game where they prioritize
There's a true
their
situation I can give you.
infrastructure or
Sorry
whatever.
to interrupt you, but I'm gonna need to go to pick up the kids and stuff. But I'm just gonna say I was just stop by to say hello to Ahmed because I haven't talked to him in a while.
That's
But
good to see you.
I
too.
will give you there was a good two chances the way Chelsea is gonna be actually successful, because I'm done with this club. I'm washing my hands with clubs because it's beyond the point of repair. So we all know that owners will not take the managers like Mourinho, managers like what's his name, that Atleti's manager, what's his name,
Simeone.
Simeone, because those are big characters and they will actually challenge the board. You know what I'm saying? They will challenge the board, they will challenge their football knowledge, and they could potentially expose them. So they will not be able to, because those two chubby chasers, that board we have, that Einstein and stuff, those two are actually happy, right? Like nobody's after them. Like they got Vevel, or what's his name, that out of the club, so they are happy with the job. So from my perspective, right now, Chelsea has the only one thing that actually makes them succeed with the manager, and I can tell you how: a dumb luck. We accidentally will stumble. How you say it? Stumble on the manager that actually going to be successful, not because of anything back before or whatever, just pure dumb luck. That's all I'm saying. And the reason why I want to go through the manager quickly if I don't work out, that chance will increase every time we fire the dumb one, and we will eventually land it on the dumb luck one. That's all I'm saying. That's how my view at this club at this point, because I don't see them going for the person that I want that should change the mentality. That's all it is. I'll see you guys later, man. Big up, Ahmed, because Oliver will Bailey, whatever.
Jared, his name is Jared. His name is
Jared. Big up, guys. So I'll see you
Big
later.
up, Alex.
All right,
See you, man.
take care, man. Yeah, but like I hear his point, because like I know, like big up to Kafka's view. He said something that I think was rather interesting, and I hadn't thought about it as well, which is that if you do sack Mr. Mauricio Pochettino, right? Yeah, these guys, from what we know, they could go for someone like a Thomas Frank.
But Ahmed, I agree with that point as well, and I'm not even fully.
I agree.
Poch
Yeah.
I'm not fully Poch out yet. I just think if they are going to make a change, I don't want it to be after the window. I can't, because then if
it has to be before the window. Yeah, I agree. It
they
has
go,
to be before the window.
they go beyond the point of the window, then there's no coming back for this season whatsoever. There'll be
I
none.
agree. I
But
agree.
we have got, if they're going to make a change, and I don't think they are anytime soon, it may be a month's time minimum. If they're going to make a change, yeah, this run of games is a really good run of games for a new manager to come in
Exactly.
and build momentum. I'm not saying that it's the right decision to sack him now, but if you don't sack him now, or if you don't sack him before the window, give him the rest of the season. You might as well, because we'll just be in the position as we were last year, and then the cycle will continue. They've got to kind of get out of their heads this arrogance that every person they pick is going to be this long-term guy, because the first one, there was talks about Tuchel getting a contract extension. They sacked him. Then Potter, they sacked him after backing. They might as well give him Potter to the end of that season, in hindsight. And then they're already briefing about giving Poch time, which to me says that they are coming up with other solutions if it does go wrong. So
I don't even think it's like I don't think we should give him till January. I think if we're going to sack him, we'll probably have to do it after the next game. If that's the most time.
I'm just saying that
that's the most time I'd give him until next game. And if there
I
isn't like a
personally-
very, very significant like change in something, whether it's behind the scenes, whether it's on the field, preferably on the field. If there's not a dramatic change in the next game and a half or so, then you sack him before Christmas.
I'll be honest as well. I don't believe the fact that it wouldn't take long to get a new manager in either, because Potter was I know he had a clause or whatever, meant to buy his contract, but Potter was doing really well at Brighton, and we got him in within 2 days of sacking Tuchel. So if they want, if there is a guy out there that they're interested in, whether that's Amorim, who they've talked to before, who's performing well in the Portuguese league, or if it's Arne Slot, who they've apparently kept tabs on, who's second in Eredivisie after winning it last year, then those two targets or other targets are achievable. Like they are. It's only if they want to go for a manager, maybe who's higher in profile, that it would take that time. So,
but the thing is, I don't think we can fully trust Winstanley, Lawrence, and whoever else, the board members, to bring in a manager that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. Though. That's the issue.
I'm pretty sure. I don't even think it's like the owners giving these instructions. I think Todd obviously said, "I'm going to go focus on LA," but Jared, he's giving Egbali the keys more.
No, Jared,
he's giving Egbali the keys more.
But let me explain. But I'm not talking about Bowley. I'm talking about. I think the owner. I said this before. I said this yesterday casually. The ownership directive, I think for me, has been definitely a young player approach. I think that's definitely, on some level, definitely an ownership approach.
No, I think so too. I think
yeah.
So
I think
what they've done is, my bad to interrupt, but I think the first thing that they did when they took over is criticize how unsustainable the last model was. And let's be honest, it kind of was in the way how we were doing things. But now they've taken sustainability and just like gone over the rails with it. And they've kind of just like washed the entire definition of sustainability. Because it's not very gradual. It's not very, very structured in that sense. It's like they're just going out and spending as much as they can on every. It's like an FM kind of addiction where they're just getting every regen, every fucking wonder kid that they can, and whoever bangs, and whoever doesn't will sell for a profit, hopefully, or they'll just come good at some point, and we'll have a multi-club model to the point where we can just send them to a different club.
I hear you, Jared, but the problem is the only club we've got now, what? Strasbourg, bro. They even got one, the Portuguese one. They've been continuously talking about everything like that. So we should have gotten the clubs first and then gotten the players afterwards. In my opinion, that's how it should have worked for me. But
that's true. There's only I can only agree with that. Only some players that we've gotten, we just couldn't miss out on. So like
I can understand
like
maybe if you
obviously Kendry and stuff like that. But,
I can understand.
I think they've overblown not even the targets, but the philosophy that they wanted to set. I know they wanted to do the sustainability and the exciting football and the manager that wants to work with them kind of thing, but they've completely like gone over the rails with it. Like their heart's in the right place, but they're just not doing it the right way. In the sense that they want the multi-club model so that they can have this level of sustainability on different continents, just like the City
Yeah.
group, just like
But
the other groups and
do you
so
know what
on.
it
But
is though? Do you know what it is? Yeah, and this is something
mm,
that we both said. Yeah, the City, we want to City did first. They focused on the first team and actually making sure they were winners first, and then afterwards, let's buy a club in New York. Let's buy a club this place. Let's buy a club in that place afterwards. You know what I'm saying to you? That's what happened afterwards. But the problem right now, yeah, it feels like I'll say this, yeah, before we continue on to something because there's some other really big breaking news that's come out that I want to talk about anyway. But we've had the ownership who have made it this a very young player directive, which has meant that we're not bringing in maybe some level of experience which is needed. But again, as I've said before, if you have more than enough quality, the experience really is not that necessary. But we've said that before. But obviously, you can say
mm,
that part. Then we've got the directors. Now, the directors, yeah, I feel like in terms of transfers, incomings, they've done good in some parts, but then like with Stanley, in terms of the big transfers, has kind of, from what it seems like, failed at his job. It seems from what we can see from the outside looking
yeah,
in. You
I think what they need to do is they need to sack Stanley as soon as possible because there's too many times where they've openly said that an owner has to literally fly across the world to get a deal done because the guy that they hired did not do it in enough time or do it in a time which can allow the player to settle in or whatever. It happened with Enzo, it happened with Caicedo, it happened with I think somebody else. I don't remember who.
yeah, but like
It happened with
To
like
be fair
three
though, Stanley.
big transfers. Huh?
To be fair to Win Stanley, I'm not even massively defending him. I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit. Apart from the Caicedo deal, has he really massively fucked up in any other area? Really, like Enzo deal, it was not on him anyway because it was a release clause and it was very difficult to
Wasn't
negotiate.
Pavel doing the Enzo deal as well at first?
I don't
But
think so. I think I think the Enzo thing was Win Stanley to a degree, but I think it was just like so much harder because Rui Costa was just being a dickhead about it.
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
Like he was firmly
massive
trying to run down the clock up
a
until
lot.
like the last hour for the transfer window
yeah. But
anyway.
I
That
just
does
want
happen.
to,
Though. Like, I
yeah,
wouldn't really want him to lose his job over,
yeah,
and especially with the Caicedo one. We were trying to get the best deal, but then when it enters into a bidding war kind of
yeah.
situation, it is difficult for
I
the
think
club.
that's the problem though, Will. We let it get to a bidding war.
Yes, we let it get to a bit of war. We had like had open dialogue from Miles Apali, from what we see from Brighton and how they've spoken about it. They've been quite open about the fact that they already knew what the price was, but
I
Chelsea were,
remember it,
yeah,
Ahmed. I remember it as clear as day. It was like the third or the fourth bid was 70 million, which is what Arsenal got rejected for in January. It's like, why are we bidding so low at that point? And then you let the Rice deal happen, which completely inflates the market, and then here we are paying 115.
yeah. I want to apply to Jez's comment about no club wanting to aim big has this type of operating of their with this in their mind, and I agree with Jez. Like I feel like this going after the young kids approach and not looking for like these top and upcoming established players as well is a big liability for by the club too. It is a big liability. Look,
Crazy though as well. This is the point where I think as well that we all agree as well that Pochettino and Potter, whoever, has also got to take responsibility as well because you've got teams like Brighton, yeah, that are at the core mostly youth players, apart from maybe Lewis Dunk, the goalkeeper that gets rotated in and out, maybe Pascal Gross or whatever. But we've got like a handful of experienced players as well. So like, but they are coherent with a team and a core of young players, and they are at least like around the European places and in Europe. So I don't the underperforming. For me, having a young squad is not an excuse to be 12th in the league. If we're about 7th, 6th, then I can kind of get it because young players will go in and out of in like consistency. But I think there's got to be a balance of blame, which I think everyone here agrees with anyway.
No, I hate to bring it up, but I think they said it before, or somebody said it before, that we're trying to model it after Arsenal in a sense, where Arsenal have a really young squad of literally young quality players, and they're playing to a very good level, where they're in the Champions League, about to go to the round of 16 and stuff. I don't necessarily want to go the route of copying Arsenal, quote unquote, or whatever. But there's always this saying that people have when it comes to football is that if they're good enough, they're young. If they're good enough, they're old enough. There's players out here playing from 16 years old. And they're in the starting 11s of some of the biggest clubs in the world from they were 16 years old, 17 years old, and they've been a mainstay since then.
Yep.
And I'm saying, why is it that every other team can build young squads and have a little bit of those big, older, experienced players and perform at the highest level? Well, when it comes to Chelsea, we just can't do it. We just have to have all these prime players to perform. Because I know that in our history, we have not been the best club at implementing youth in certain aspects, whether it's from the academy, whether it's young players that we buy, where we're prioritizing older players and then blocking paths for youth players that we buy, promising youth players that we buy, and then eventually we send them out on loan and they just rot away. I think, but the problem, I think the problem is we just didn't bring in the right coach with the right mentality to bring that to fruition. Arsenal went that route because Arteta just didn't have it.
Yeah, but like I think I agree with Des to an extent because we've seen Arteta can't like a lot of the players that are very young players. Like he couldn't handle a lot of the major players and the major Eagles. Although you could also make the point that some of them are obviously holding the club back. But you know
Yeah,
what?
we can say the same thing for us too.
Yeah, but
Like last season, a lot of the experienced players that our team that a lot of the people on Twitter are literally screaming and shouting about, oh, we got rid of this many players and brought in a bunch of teenagers.
like
It kept some
I hear you,
experienced players
I
and
hear
blah
you,
blah blah. But
Jared.
they
Yeah,
were looking us down.
yeah, I
Mm,
hear you, Jared, because I want to move on. Yeah,
mm.
the thing for me was the players that we had to move on last. We needed to move on, and you look at them now. None of them, I would argue, are producing well. Maybe because maybe Havertz now doing one or two little things, but like, even then, he's not even playing that well. Like, but like the rest of them, let's be honest, bro. The rest of them, what are they
Mm.
doing? That's what I have to
That's
say on that
true.
one.
I'm trying to think actually.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Like, it's really like if you deep it, we don't know about the rest of them.
The best one's probably Kepa, but that's by default because he's at
Oh,
Real
wait.
Madrid.
No, Balloon is replacing him, bro.
No, Kepa's on the bench now.
Might actually be cheek after Kepa.
Wait, he's benched now.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
bench. Oh yeah,
I thought he got injured.
No, he got bench, bro.
Bro, that can't be.
Yeah, but like, oh yeah, so Will made a good point because I actually forgot about him. Ruben Loftus had a bright spot start at, definitely at AC Milan, but like,
Pulisic too,
but he's barely,
but
but again, like I don't even see Ruben Loftus play that regularly anymore.
Yeah.
Like I was, so you know what I'm saying to you. Oh, but he's injured. Oh, fair enough. You know what? That's fair.
Yeah, okay, cool.
But I think he's talking about Kepa though. I think he's talking about Kepa, not Ruben Loftus Cheek, maybe. But if he's talking about let me know. But even that, but like even Ruben Loftus Cheek, even if it is him that he's injured, another case of Chelsea. Where he was always well, even though he was on the bench for us here, but he was always injury prone. So like again, this is something that we've known about for a while now. But you know what? I want to talk about this year because this is continuing on from Fabrizio that's saying that Chelsea are expected to make 2 to 3 signings in the January transfer window, and this is to back up from Nizar's one where he says that Chelsea want a defender, a midfielder, and a striker in January. That's what apparently the aim is. So literally for me, when you hear something like that, I'm like, why are you getting another defender?
Why are we getting another midfielder?
Why even get another? No, apparently the reason why we want another midfielder is because apparently Pochettino wants a tall, muscular defender. Apparently, so he thinks the only way to see them work, the only see them at work here, they have to be wedge based.
But like I said earlier, why did you want Ugarte then?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
It doesn't make sense.
It's headlock, bro. It's headlock.
Like he's saying one thing and then doing the exact opposite. You say you want height now, but you are begging for some of the shortest players out there. You are begging for Arturo Martinez, who can't play in a one striker system very well. That's why he has Marcus Thuram right beside him to take all the physicality for him. You're asking for Dybala, who plays behind 2 physical strikers in Belotti or Lukaku or Tammy Abraham when he's fit. All 6'3" minimum strikers, and then you're asking for Ugarte, who's struggling to maintain anything in the PSG midfield. Granted, I'm an Ugarte fan, but let's just keep it G real.
Yeah.
He hasn't been good since he's gone to PSG.
League on, man. It's a physical
No,
league.
Jared, for the purpose of this conversation, I'm just talking strictly about his height, not his quality. He's not a tall player.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But-
I'm saying that he hasn't been good, one, but two, his height doesn't make sense. I'm trying to say that Pochettino is saying that he's begging for height, and all his justifications for putting centre backs at left back and left backs at left wing is because of the height difference. But you have players like Badiashile sitting on the bench for Thiago Silva. You have Leslie Ugochukwu sitting on the bench, but you're playing Gallagher in the six. I get it. Broja's not been that good, but still, Broja's playing over Jackson.
Jackson's 6 foot.
Jackson's quite tall, but he's not as strong as Broja. Let's just be honest.
No, but I'm saying even if it's the height argument alone, Jackson's a tall player too. That's the point I'm trying to make, though, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's true. And if it's just purely on height, then why was he asking for Ugarte? Why was he asking for Dybala? Why was he asking for or Gabri Vega? Why was he asking for Lautaro Martinez? Those are some of the shortest players in each of their positions for the whole in all of Europe. It doesn't make sense.
No, Curry Pryor. The way they're saying defender is actual defender. If it was a fullback, they would actually mention a fullback in particular. That's the difference, Curry. Because like these days, bro, a fullback is its own different thing.
Let's be honest. They're probably looking at Mark Gurhey or something like that. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, such a good guy, such a good player in the air, Mark Gurhey. Oh,
and set pieces, guys. You know what I mean? A great guy at set pieces too.
Isn't he the centre back with the worst aerial winning?
Yes, look at his. Go and look at his. This is a good exercise for anyone on the panel here, and also in the watching in the comments below. Go and look up Mark Gurhey's FB ref. He's got red bars on his aerials.
Yeah, it's not good.
Actually,
man.
Right now.
And he's not a great defender either, and he's not great. So
he's terrible. He's genuinely terrible. And I'm glad we sold him. They sat down. Like half the fan base sat down and gaslit another half of the fan base because we sold Gurhey for 20 mil, and he stinks.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna move on from that nonsense because, like, listen, I can't believe we're about to give this guy another transfer window. You know. Yeah. So
I'll kill this whole height thing in one go. Look at Robert Sanchez on corners.
Oh, we're gonna get to Sanchez, bro.
He's 6'6", bro. Height doesn't.
They even admit, Oliver, bro. We need to talk about Sanchez here because Sanchez apparently is washed now as well, according to the news. So according to the news,
we got him a 7-year contract as well. Oh my god.
No.
Wait,
Jez, well, I'm gonna explain to you why. 1 second. There's some news that came out of it. So Jez says, "Guy, no. I think for me, I said if he's 1-to-1, I definitely would say that he's good on the ground, but when it comes to early, he's not that great. That is for sure. That's something I've said before.
He's a much worse ball player than as well.
I know he's better with the ball at his foot. That's bad for a centre back. If he's only good with
Jez
the ball
also says that Cole stinks. Yeah, he's been playing stinky.
He is stinky defensively. Yeah, I can't lie.
I think so. He's a much better talent than someone like Gurhey. So.
Yeah, I think in terms of talent, okay, then.
But I think it's down to coaching with Colwell right now as well.
Colwell should have been.
You know what, Jared? Some of it's coaching, but when I see the way he was defending that Gyokeres goal, I'm sorry, that's just instinct.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. But even then, I play centre back for my uni, right? But even then, I understand the thinking behind it sometimes, but in certain situations, you have to step up. Sometimes when you step up, and it's a possibility that you get cooked. And when you get cooked and you step up and you're out of place now, and you have somebody like Cucurella marking you as your left back, respectfully, he's very poor defensively, but when he's like in a tackle or something, he's good. But when you step up, you leave a gap in behind and give them more space and put more pressure on your goalkeeper that way. So I understand why he's sitting back, but he should have stepped up in that sense. So I'm saying that his decision making in terms of defensive situations sometimes has been very poor. It happened with Salah. It happened with Buonanotte. It happened with the Courier as well, where he's supposed to step up and trust his back line, but he's stepping off or he's standing still and giving.
But that's because I'll be honest. There's a big elephant in the room when it comes to defense, and his name is Thiago Silva. I'll be honest, bro. That's the big elephant in the room.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. No one trusts and I don't feel like the team as a whole don't trust him. That's the thing. But you know what? I'm going to finish up this article quickly so we can discuss even further. And that is that. Big up, Stephanie. Hope you're doing well. which is that there's also recognition in the Chelsea squad that lacks genuine leadership and authority, an area Mauricio Pochettino wants to address. Apparently,
that I agree
to-
with.
and one second, I'm going to finish off it because the article's only got 2 more quotes there. There is a feeling at Chelsea they could strengthen their goalkeeping area amid concerns over the viability of options beneath first choice Robert Sanchez. And the Chelsea ownership are mindful of the cards Mauricio Pochettino was dealt. The manager is under no immediate danger, and frustrations are extended to certain members of the Chelsea squad who privately instructed their agents to speak of moves away, which is easier said than done given the long contract, 8 years in some cases, that have been signed.
That's
And finally, the final point is Mauricio Pochettino fears being used as a pawn by agents willing to tell the club recruitment staff that Chelsea bosses fancy their player in hopes of leveraging a move for their client. And I think that's it. Yeah. Now, I wanted to, we'll get to each one separately, but I wanted to start the first one, which is about the leadership thing. Do you know how damning the leadership is? Yeah, the leadership thing is to Sterling, to what's his name, Thiago Silva, and I would argue who's else. Maybe this else you could argue because of his age as well, but like that's very damning to the older players in the squad. I don't know. I've seen no one talk about that. You know, I feel like that's. I hear. I disagree. You know, I'll be honest, bro. I when I look at Sterling, I don't know if he inspires confidence in me, bro. Does he inspire? Does he look like he's leadership material, Sterling? For example, like Silva looks like he should be. No, Silva looks like someone that should be doing that, but I don't feel like he inspires that for me. Reece James, I mean, they don't even see Reece James these days, isn't it? He's in a medical center, so I don't even know if he can even inspire leadership there. And then
the thing with
red cards.
The thing with Disasi, I'll give Disasi the benefit of the doubt. It's his first season at the club. I'm not going to expect him to come here and be the leader. But like the other guys, it's spot on, and it is an area of concern. You know, look at our captains getting 2 second yellows in consecutive games. Like that's unacceptable.
See, that's the thing. What doesn't make sense, but the thing is, he's complaining about leadership, but he chose his leaders. He chose Reece James. He knows he's injury prone. He chose Gallagher. He's a young guy. He's rash. He's not a big LA. He's chosen Chilwell. God, I hate Chilwell.
Now you know what the worst one. That Colwill one against United. That really rubbed me up the wrong way because
that actually pissed me off.
The quotes that came out from Colwill about the VAR has an agenda against me. How are you giving that guy a captain's armband?
Yeah.
No, it's not even his comments. I think it's Poch's comments that came out of Poch's mouth. He's like, I want my captains to speak fluent English to interact with.
That's a problem too. Yeah.
That's where I just stopped having sympathy for him in terms of the leadership department, because you picked your captains based on their level of English, not as an actual team leader. You have guys like Enzo, you have guys like Thiago Silva, you have guys like Disasi, you have guys probably Robert Sanchez because he has to be vocal, he's a goalkeeper. You have guys like Sterling, who's put on the armband for England, who's put on the armband for Manchester City, with all that experience. You have those players at your disposal, but you choose players based on the fact that they can speak English to the referee in a fluent manner rather than the fact that they are actually good leaders. You have Brazil's captain, one of the greatest centre backs to ever touch the game. You have one of England's captains, and you're choosing guys like Reece James and Gallagher.
Can I ask you a question, Jared?
Yeah.
Listen, I know probably Jazz, the answer probably for some of us would probably be Silva, but like, does Silva inspire you anymore? Leadership?
He doesn't lead, but I think Silva needs to. I think we protect Silva too much in certain aspects. Before this season, Silva was leading by example and leading on the pitch as an actual leader. But now that he's gotten a bit older, he's not leading by example in terms of the footballing anymore. He's become more of the Azpilicueta type of captain, where he's like an inspiration kind of captain, but his performances are so poor now that he has to take a back seat. But
it's more name now. That's like Azpi. He just become the name.
I think we've had a problem with this for a while now.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's the thing. Like for me, go ahead, bro. You know what? I'll let you finish, bro.
Because you've got so many players that have left that will lower morale for some of these players, like Jorginho. Kepa's gone, who was probably respected as well. Kovacic, who was a senior player. This is going to happen anyway with a completely new squad, and especially a younger squad. Obviously, Rudiger left as well before the start of last season, who was a leader on the pitch and what seemed like it off it as well. This is a massive issue that we've had for since the start of last season as well. And this obviously partnered with someone who's much less of a character like Thomas Tuchel, who we had, or someone who's much less of a winner. I think it just always is going to cause problems. But to be honest, I don't think this is an excuse for Pochettino at all. I really don't think.
No. It's not an excuse.
No, it's not an excuse. We're not giving him an excuse.
No, I know. I'm not saying that you guys think it's an excuse.
No. I know. I think Will's point is just that, it doesn't matter if there's leaders or not. You don't really need leaders on the pitch here to be able to win games, essentially, which I agree with as well.
If you want to win titles, then that's something that we'll have to look. But
exactly
right now, but
Yeah. I think, I want to continue the Sanchez one, because then if you read the Sanchez comment, that means they just think Petrovic is not good enough, bro. I was about to say the S word, which is not right, but they just don't think Petrovic is good enough then to be a backup then.
How do they know?
But how do they know? He doesn't play.
I don't know, unless you've seen him there must be still something in training where he's not cooking. Otherwise, how can you say that?
No, but we brought in Sanchez to compete with Kepa.
Yeah.
So our first choice keeper wasn't even supposed to be our first choice keeper. He's only our first choice keeper because Kepa decided that he didn't want to compete with anybody. But now Kepa's gone over to Real Madrid and he's getting benched in certain games, but he's also injured sometimes. So it doesn't even matter. So I don't know what this whole thing, what this thing about the goalkeeper and viable options. We brought in Petrovic, and I can think that Petrovic is better, but we don't know about Petrovic. Yeah, he was. He came from the MLS. He's very good. He's very good in the MLS as well. But
I believe Scott said he was the best keeper in that division.
Yeah,
he is. He was. It was him. It was him and Andre Blake. Him and Andre Blake were literally levels above every other goalkeeper in that league. Best shot stopper by far. Andre Blake was a better sweeper.
I just wanted to, before you finish off this point, this article where it's talking about players that want to lead the squad. That's probably Madueke, I'll be honest.
Madueke, Trevor.
Trevor and them lot. And you know what, bro? I've said this before. I feel so sorry for Madueke because he's not been given any chances at all. And Pochettino, I've said it before, probably thinks he's the same player as he was when he was playing at Tottenham.
It's crazy because we said this. I remember speaking to you and Oliver about this yesterday.
Yeah.
This fan base, like when we talk about players in the squad that are not good enough, so many people just point at Madueke. I'm like, what?
Exactly.
How can you even say that when he's had 119 minutes this season?
Exactly. He had Disasi behind him, Will. He had Disasi behind him. One of the games that he started.
It was Brentford, yeah.
And in that Brentford game, he was probably, apart from Palmer, might be the most threat.
Bro, if his shot was like 5 centimeters down, different discussion.
Afford it, yeah. Like he was the biggest threat apart from Palmer in that game because we were toothless in that game as well. So,
it's a Poch problem because Poch, we've reduced the squad size like Poch wanted, right? We've given him two players in about each position: Sterling and Mudryk on the left, Palmer and Madueke on the right, Gallagher and Nkunku through the middle. Broja. Yeah, we've given him 2 players in each position in a very compact squad in terms of it. We've trimmed down the squad size. It's not overinflated, this and that and the other. But he still managed to somehow just avoid using Madueke. I'm just like, at this point, is it that Madueke is just not good enough, or does Poch just genuinely just not like him in general? It has to be one or the other.
To be honest, there is a part of me that thinks it is a bit of a symptom of us not being in Europe. Like if we had Conference League or Europa League football, I think that's the place where you can get minutes. But when you've only got, disregarding the current period now where we're in the December period, we have like 3 games a week. We've been playing 1 game a week all season, and you'd like to hope that the manager's trying to make a settled lineup, even though he hasn't been doing that. I think it really would have helped some of these players to have at least a Conference League, because at least it's minutes.
Yeah.
There's rotting away now, though.
I think, yeah.
But the thing is, bro, he's not even giving Carabao Cup minutes. He hasn't been given any Carabao Cup minutes, bro.
That's what I'm saying. He's not even giving Carabao.
This is the weird one as well. Madsen always gets subbed on before him.
Yeah, it's blatant.
Bro.
You know what? With Madueke, yeah, I genuinely think he should go on loan abroad again. Honestly, because
I don't think we can put him abroad.
We've
We've used up all our loan spaces abroad.
We can probably bring Barrera back, bro, because he's doing shit. He's actually doing disgusting, bro. 5 points. I've seen him play. Yeah, he is actually, bro. Lord have mercy.
I mean, he didn't. To be honest, bro, he didn't look any good in preseason or in that cup game either.
No. As in, like he's looking bad, bro. That's what I'm saying to you. He's not even.
No, like he's looking terrible.
Wait,
like he's been looking terrible. But the thing
he's a Benfica youth player though. He was never even. He has 0 senior experience.
Yeah.
This is literally his first set of senior minutes in any environment. So you have to understand. But then there's also just like a basic level of competency that you'd expect in certain cases. Just like Angelo, right? Even though Angelo's struggling right now, but he's literally one of our most experienced players in our entire squad.
Difference is Angelo's been playing first team football since he was 16 years old.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But I don't know. But he's still playing poorly. Well, he's not playing poorly, but he's just not even playing at all because Vieira's a bitch.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're gonna sign. We're gonna get rid of Madueke, who's a talent, and a more experienced talent, and then we're gonna bring in Esteval as well, who probably won't even be able to play.
Oh God.
But like I just think, for him, obviously, I feel sorry for him. Chalobah, bro, I don't know, bro. He feels like he's either injured or they're just like making stuff up for him just not to play. Matson is a symptom probably of this high nonsense, which is why he's not been playing as a left back at all. Because Jed told me that he doesn't like his fullbacks that are short fullbacks, which now makes sense to me as to why he's never played him left back essentially till the last game.
But what's crazy is that what fullbacks out there are like massively tall anyway, like massively tall. Like
you got to ask him, mate. You got to ask him. He had
Danny Rose. Clearly we're going to go off playing there.
This guy had Danny Rose, as a fullback, and who's not even that tall, and apparently he's got a problem with Trippier with Matson.
I'm telling you, this guy wants to play. This guy wants to play Moyes ball, where it's just like Enzo hoof it into the box, and some tall motherfucker just heads it in, happens to, or whatever, and just press the daylights out of a team, or just I don't know what his plan is, but it's some Moyes ball shit, bro. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but
I'm just thinking now. By the way, there are like barely any tall fullbacks in the world. Like the ones that come to mind, like Dan Burn and Dumfries.
And they're not the type of fullbacks you want in your.
Well, team. Dumfries is a wing back. It's different to Dan Burn, but like we don't want either one of those guys.
Dumfries stinks.
Yeah,
I know.
It's crazy. Like
he used to be good before Inter, but then he just stumped up.
Oh, Rose was different because he was big and strong compared to Matson. He never liked Trippier. Fair enough. I didn't know that.
If you didn't like Trippier,
well, that's bad talent ID, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
everybody else likes Trippier.
But this is crazy. But you know what, man? Let's move on to this topic now because essentially, guys, I said this before. These two guys ain't happening, and it's looking like that's the case now. One source told Telegraph Sport Chelsea are not going to qualify for Europe next season. The only way they are going. So the way they've been going, so they would have to offer either Osimhen or Tony really big money. That's not something they've been doing this year.
That's that whole paragraph is crazy.
And then what's it called? Apparently, Chelsea are. There's another comment that right at the top which says Chelsea are not keen to go above the 150k what's it called, the wage budget cap as well. So that means
I'm sorry, man. They offered Reece James 250. They gave Sterling 300. What are we doing here?
But that's the thing. But again, that's the thing for me, bro. They clearly now, I said this before. Now that the directive has now become just like we're looking at only young players, then so it clearly seems to me that's what's happened now. The case now seems to be that they're now looking at a younger talent. What's it called? Looking for people that are gonna be for the future they can build up for the squad. That's what you look like to me, bro. That's why you look at the players you're buying: 16-year-old players, 17-year-old players, 18-year-old players, 19 up to 20, 21. That's why that's been happening. So it's not surprising me at all, bro. It's not surprising at all.
Wasn't this also? This is also the reason we actually left the Ugarte chase. It was because of the PSG's offer was way too much for more than we wanted to contend with.
PSG inflated the wages, and we were just like, yeah, fuck all that.
We didn't want to contend with it at all. Yeah,
but I agree, though. But we shouldn't have stuck with it. Obviously, Ugarte would have been 3 times cheaper or 2 times cheaper than Caicedo, but or like just around the same price as Lavia. But still, I mean, they inflated the wages to a different point. So I can understand that they want to keep their wage structure in a certain way after how last season went, with how they offered Aubameyang so much, Koulibaly so much, Sterling so much. They were prepared to offer Mount so much, about 220K, or I think that we saw, but. I think they want to keep that wage budget down so that they can still buy, like, stack up on players that they want, which it makes sense in hindsight, but it also it's probably just a dumb move in that sense. But even then, I don't even think Osimhen would have worked for us. The way that we need our striker to play right now, I don't think Osimhen would have worked for us.
He's been getting isolated recently up front. Yeah. That would definitely happen here.
That's what I'm saying. Me and Ahmed watch Napoli on a regular. I've been watching Napoli for like 5-ish years now. Yeah. And since Osimhen's come in, he's so heavily reliant on service. It's genuinely a joke. It's almost like Lukaku, in the sense that if you're not putting the ball literally 5 yards in front of him with an open net, he's not scoring it most of the time. But last season he was a freak. I can admit that. I love Osimhen, but he's so good at goal. He's really good at one thing, and that's goal scoring. But every other facet he's terrible at. Him and Jackson are literally polar opposites. Jackson's very good at everything else except for the in the box work. Osimhen is very good at everything in the box related, and just very bad at everything else. So it just doesn't make any sense. Like, he's like that kind of strike. If you're gonna play Osimhen as a lone striker, you have to have so much creativity around him that it's genuinely like unhealthy. Kind of how Haaland is at Man City, where literally you can create chances from the fucking goalkeeper. Edison could ping a ball and Haaland's getting onto the end of it and scoring. That's the kind of creativity that you need for players like Osimhen and Haaland and stuff like that.
But can I just
if we can't attract Ivan, and I do think Tony is much better than Ollie Watkins, so I'm not trying to compare them as players. But we wouldn't be able to attract Ollie Watkins either if other clubs go.
Ollie Watkins probably want 200K a week, and I think that would be deserved if he wants 200K a week. I'll be honest, but like,
no, he deserves that, but he wouldn't leave. He's in such a stable environment.
No, I hear you. Well. I'm saying in the hypothetical situation that a transfer offer got accepted for him, and then we went to the contract stage of it. He would want 200K a week, and we can't even pay him 200K a week because we're like, oh, sorry, it's above our transfer policy, mate. Sorry, no, thank you. And like, I do think, Joel's point kind of is right, because like, the more you do, because we're going for all these young, up and coming, potentially soon to become maybe world class or top tier talents, it means you're gonna suffer.
Yeah,
not bringing these top.
The problem is though, like
26 and 27.
I've got a problem with this though, because even if like most of these guys, or even some of them, come good, what happens when we have to renegotiate?
Exactly. That's another thing we have to think about too.
What are we going to bin them off? Like,
I don't know. I think.
But I think that's what they want to. I genuinely believe, Jared. I genuinely believe that that's what they want to. They want to keep some of them, that definitely going to become world class to help them win the league. But the ones that they can't agree a new deal with, they want to make a profit on them too. So that's another easy thing for them as well. So they don't mind if they lose one or two world class, if they keep one or two. So that's what they're planning to do anyway. So I'm not surprised by that.
I can see that happening, but I think this goes back to the first point I was making with the owners in terms of their level of sustainability or whatever, where they can easily just hack away at certain players that they can easily make a profit on. And if they wanted to, in terms of making a new deal with certain players, is they can bump up their wages and not feel threatened by it because that level of sustainability that they say they want is there. And it's a dumb way of thinking about it, but I think that's just what they're gonna do. Some players are obviously they're just gonna dash away if they're asking for certain amounts and they don't want to give them, cool, but they'll have somebody else lined up if anything, or if they're willing to give that player what they want, they have the level of sustainability and the money generation that they've created from way back down to here or down to 2023 that they can rely on to give them that without breaking any rules.
But listen, man,
I've got to go, yeah, but thanks for having me and big up.
that's all right, bro. Big up, bro. Nice to see
Later,
you.
man.
But like, obviously, we're now hearing about. It seems like Bro is on the way to like with these briefings that are coming out. Definitely thought like they might be planning to sell Bro as well for FFP reasons. So he's looking like he's on his way out too. And
Bro's
then
just pure profit too, no?
yeah, as well. Obviously, I think that is pretty much the majority of the news. But yeah, man, I just want to do this quick stream anyway because it's gone on for 1 hour 16 because I have to actually go on Player's Choice now. But I want to hear obviously everyone's final thoughts. But like this news, man, this is nonsense here for me. It's too much, man. You know what I'm saying to you? Like I don't really care about it. I just want us to solve these issues. If you get what I mean. And for me, Pochettino should have been gone from a job already. And we should have been had another manager in who would have helped in January to get the players that he wanted. But clearly, that is not the case. But I'll give it over to you first, Oliver. Some of your final thoughts and feelings on this news and all the other nonsense that's come out. Really.
I think I've said all I need to say in terms on the news. Like, I think apart from, I'll just take it back to that comment again, where the owners feel like this is unacceptable. You need to show me that. Words are empty. You're not demonstrating that's how you feel.
What about you, Jared, bro? Final thoughts from you. You got the last word today.
I mean, the only thing I have to say is everybody needs to fix up from the players to the fucking owners to the kit man to
What's the
whoever
kit man done, bro? What's the kit man done, broski?
I don't know, man. Probably something in that laundry detergent that making us play like some damn food.
That would probably make us. That would probably make us, run faster, bro.
I don't know, man. Something about that laundry detergent these days, making man move sleepy and move spooky. My laundry detergent is not moving like that. I sleep like a good child, but still, yeah.
Fair enough.
Laundry detergent, please.
All right then. Well, guys, as usual, I've been your host, the Bridge 258. Dedicate your hearts. Big up to Ames. You know what I'm saying? You missed the Bally stuff. You can watch it on the live stream replay. I have to head out. Love and guys. I'll see you guys. Not tomorrow, but Wednesday for if there's any big news, I obviously might do another little mini live stream, of course. But on Wednesday, you will be getting, of course, the Up Watch where I'll round up everything from the UCL stream, of course. But I've been your host of Mr. Bridge 258. That's been Oliver. That's been Mr. Bally season. And we are gonna be out in a few secs. But listen,